What's up, Juventini? Today we've got a lot to look at. Mirko Di Natale gives us the summer plans for Juventus, and he reveals also debunking reports we've heard over the past few days in terms of some finalization on moves. So we're going to look at all of that together. We also get the weigh-in on Tonali as a real target for Juventus, but apparently there's a yes involved that has been given. We're going to look at all of that together, as well as, of course, the injury rundown heading into our match tomorrow against Cagliari, and Motta's presser, in which he had some words around Kenan Yildiz that has ignited a reaction in Juventini. We're going to tackle it all together right now. I'm Berto. This is the AJCR channel dedicated to Juventus. It's February 22nd. Let's rock with the news. But first things first, we got a birthday shout out, and that goes out to Timothy Weah. The player has impressed many this season. He's got 6 goals, 5 assists to his name with 1,588 minutes played, but he has really impressed a lot, even the naysayers, with his performances at right back as of late. I want to know from you, how do you feel about Timothy Weah's season so far? Hit me in the comments. Now we get to Mirko Di Natale yesterday, unveiling a lot on a Spaces on X, and he had this to say. The plan for Juventus this summer is to invest heavily, and they are looking at signing 4 good, strong players. All right, and he says that is why you are hearing links to players such as Lookman. All right, but he also continues on that certain plans that are being contradicted in the news aren't in fact that. He says Chico Conceição, it is already determined Juve wants to finalize that deal and will be finalizing that deal. They're almost pot committed with the expensive loan that's already been put forth this season. And yes, it was already predetermined in that agreement that Juve gets first crack at that release clause. So that's going to get finalized. The news we've been hearing about Kalulu potentially not getting his deal finalized with Juventus, Mirko Di Natale says he will be finalized by Juventus. So we wait and see. When it gets to the attack, he continues that Kolo Muani is definitely in the plans for Juventus to finalize a move with PSG. And outside of that, of course, Vlahovic is looking to be sold and will be sold by Juventus, at least definitely put up on the market. When you get to the names outside of Kolo Muani, it is Jonathan David, Victor Osimhen, and Benjamin Sesko. He also continued and added that all 3 of these players have in fact had initial contacts made by Juventus, okay? And when we look at these guys, Victor Osimhen seems very difficult to deal with Napoli to get a deal there. He's also going to want high wages. Hey, might not be likely. For Jonathan David, that might also not be likely because he's spoken a lot about wanting to go to the Prem or, of course, Barcelona, the boyhood club. But let's see. You never know. When it comes to Benjamin Sesko, we really haven't been linked at all up until this point, and now we're hearing that there has been initial contacts. Let's just see. Time will tell. But according to Mirko Di Natale, these are the plans. He also added that Sandro Tonali, which not a lot of us are buying anything into, is a real target for Juventus. There's a lot more to this. And again, we haven't bought into this a whole bunch because of so many factors. Number 1, the money it would take to get him from Newcastle. Number 2, his wages. Number 3, his agent talking about how happy he is there. And number 4, a lot of the belief that his connections and his ties to Milan will not see him come to Juventus. However, today, it's being put all over the place that he has apparently given his willingness and yes to joining Juventus. And Juve's looking at trying to get this deal done by sending Douglas Luiz the other way. Of course, time will tell. We wait and see. I think for me, no disrespect to Douglas Luiz, who has just come in, but that is one frustrating scenario, and I absolutely get this deal done if there is a yes involved. For me, I'm all in on bringing in Sandro Tonali. You know the drill, though. Hit me in the comments, and let's hope that yes actually went down. When it comes to Imbangula, his future remains uncertain with Juventus because there are many offers for the player. Juve could try to find something for 20 to 25 million euros, and he might be sent packing. When it comes to Vlahovic, Arsenal continues to be heavily linked with wanting to bring in that striker. Juve's going to push for 40 million euros. When we get to the match tomorrow, you know we're going to be live 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time getting you hyped up for this game. Luis is expected to be back in the squad for that game. Kalulu, his return date seems to be March 9th. All right, now with that game in mind, we get to Malta's presser, and he had some words around Yildiz that ignited a reaction. But first, we start with this game, the team. He says, I will decide on the lineup tomorrow. As far as Weah, he goes, he is best at fullback, and that is clear. But he has always done what has been asked no matter where he plays, giving him a lot of praise. Asked about Alberto Costa, he says he trains very well, and I have no doubt that he will do well when he finally gets his opportunity. But of course, not shedding a light as to when that opportunity will come for the player. When we get to Yildiz, he says, if he doesn't start, it is because others have deserved to start ahead of him. When you look at the latest match, this has ignited a reaction because you apparently claimed that Cope Miners was ill, battling a flu. You could have pulled McKennie back in the midfield. Yildiz is more than capable of playing anywhere across the top, and he has carried the most effective rate of our attackers. It asks questions. He's always worked hard as well. So this raises questions and struck a nerve with the fans. How do you feel about it? Let me know in the comments. When we get to Chico Conceição, getting criticisms, especially after the last match, and a lot of mistakes in decision making, Malta agreed and said yes, he is young, he is a strong player, but he does need to improve on his decision making. It is something we have discussed. Discussing is one thing, but my God, let's get this sorted. February 22nd, I do still believe in Chico Conceição, and I think he's a great player, but we've got to clean that up, and he is not the only one to fall victim to that. So let's go. Coach's influence, get going, sort it out. Tomorrow, he says, will be a complicated match against Cagliari. We must be ready. You absolutely must be ready because this one has to be 3 points. We're tight, we're at the wire, and again, top 4 is a must for Juventus and this build financially. But of course, we're going to be live tomorrow to get hyped up for the game, and there is a watch along. You know the drill for today, though. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join our AJC army, and let me know what you think about all the news you just heard, and I can't wait to see you in the morning for that live show. Till then, as always, fino alla fine, forza Juventus, ciao tutti.